Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Nightmare Alley, which is Guillermo del Toro's new noir film based off of the 1940s novel from William Lindsay Gresham, and based off of the 40s film that I have on Criterion, got during the Criterion sale. But what Guillermo del Toro does great is monsters. And this doesn't have actual monsters, but there's some monstrous human beings in this film that you get to see a dark, seedy underbelly of like the carnival scene and how one con man escapes from there, bringing a young innocent woman out with him into the big city where he brings his con to bigger people and more dangerous people. And Guillermo del Toro is able to create this haunting and eerie scape of a world, especially where a lot of this takes place. There's snow, there's fog, there's just a creepiness to everything that just adds that darker layer to things. And everything is shot so perfectly. Dan Lawson, who previously did The Shape of Water and John Wick Chapter 2, gives such a great effort in terms of shooting this film as a cinematographer. The lighting, the framing, it's all crisp, it's perfect. The production design, this is such a lived-in world that we feel, and you have the extravagance of the city, you have the griminess of the carnival, and all of these different things in between. Nathan Johnson and his score is eerie and haunting. Combining eerie and haunting together, and there's just a level of tension that's built through this whole entire film. There's always suspense because there's always a question of who is honest, who is doing what, and you have deceits and lies galore that just fill this film. And because that's what it is. This is about a con man, and from the very beginning you see Bradley Cooper's character burning a body and burning a house down and walking away, finding his way to this carnival, getting involved, connecting with certain people and playing them, and trying to build his game as a con man and going off into the city and bigger and better things to more money, and getting involved with the psychiatrist who also has some nefarious purposes. And there's a lot of abusive relationships in this film, and you definitely have the abusive relationships that Bradley Cooper's Stanton Carlisle had pre-finding this carnival, and then these toxic relationships that he builds with some of the people at the carnival, and especially David Strathairn, who is this mentalist who's teaching him how to do this show, and Bradley Cooper's character Stanton's like seeing the horrible dark side of this whole thing and how he could profit from it, whisking this young innocent woman played by Rooney Molly off with him. And Bradley Cooper is just perfect in this film. He has the physicality, that mustache fits perfectly. He has this essence of charisma and charm, but underneath he's dark and cold and just trying to do his best to beat others and take their money and thriving for himself. Very selfish. And you also feel real insecurity with a lot of his previous life. And you have Rooney Mara, who's like the real moral compass of this film, this honorable young woman who's drawn into this, and Mara plays so great. Cate Blanchett is the femme fatale, this Dr. Ritter, who has this uncomfortable relationship that she builds with Carlisle. And the two of them have this dark, seductive chemistry together. Richard Jenkins plays this despicable and intense and foreboding figure that really Carlisle's big thing is trying to bag this big whale. And Jenkins' character is that big whale. It's his Moby Dick, and he's chasing after it. And the dark places he has to go to be able to commit to it, and the horrible ramifications of his actions with the different characters in the film, whether he's actively trying to harm people or not. And you have all of this going on. You have all the carnival folk as well. Like Toni Collette is great as this seer. Willem Dafoe's great as the guy who runs the carnival. You have Clifton Collins Jr. Tim Blake Nelson pops up later in the film. You have Ron Perlman as the strong man, and he brings a physicality that he uses against Cooper. And it's very interesting seeing these two big men with that tension between trying to fight for what's best for Molly, Rooney Mara's character. And this is a long, twisted film from just a satisfying arc of seeing the rise and fall of this con man, the things that he'll do to get ahead. It's dark and shocking along the way. And there's just so much about this. It gets dark and brutal and grotesque in the way that it depicts violence, because this is a Guillermo del Toro film. And this earns its R rating. It's haunting. It's unnerving. This is a noir with an edge and a flair that just really helps elevate it. And I was really impressed by this film. But those are my thoughts on Nightmare Alley. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.